Assalamu alaikum. Okay. I'd like to welcome you to Mr. Quick's online video lesson.
Take your time, relax. That's what you got to do. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Mr. Quick's class. Well, I have a message. Specifically, of course, for my students, and more specifically for my previous students, or the students who have left my class either through graduation or through whatever other reasons. My message is simply this, and I can say it in one sentence. You will never taste the sweetness of success without first experiencing the bitterness of failure. Although failure is something very negative, it is probably one of the most positive things that can happen to a young adult. Because in failure, we learn many things about ourselves, about the world around us. And it is through failure that we truly learn how to succeed. We learn how to work. We learn how to struggle. We learn how to try. And I've always said that the first step to success is trying. But of course, that trying comes through failure. So, with understanding that, I think it is safe to say that a person who never experiences failure, who is always given success, their ability to appreciate success becomes pretty much impossible. I guess I don't have to run down a list of famous people or people who did great things who first experienced the bitterness of failure. But even after experiencing this, they still managed to be successful. And I think that is probably one of the biggest problems or the biggest issues with young adults, is that they have a fear of failure. Many young adults, young men and women, feel that if they fail, they will never succeed. And this is, it could not be further from the truth. Because it is through failure that we learn how to accomplish. We learn how to achieve. We learn how to strive to reach a goal. You cannot enter into adulthood thinking or assuming that you or everything you do, you will succeed in. Adults. And I want to talk about adults because we cannot free ourselves from blame when it comes to what the younger generation or the young adults experience or don't experience. And I want to isolate, in this group of adults, I want to isolate teachers in particular, because I think more than any other group in the adult group, I think teachers hold more responsibility in helping the younger generation or young adults to understand what it means to fail. And just as I said, young adults have a fear of failure. I think that adults as a whole, teachers in specific, have a fear of allowing a young adult to experience failure. My mother, she did not have this fear. My mother allowed me to experience failure in order to point out to me the lesson that was to be learned from that experience. And in doing that, she helped me to understand that failure is just a part of the process of being successful. And without a doubt, I think that was the most valuable thing that she instilled in me. And as a teacher, I strive to instill that into my students. But unfortunately, we are in a very peculiar situation. In that situation is that because there is being money spent, that it is expected that failure does not or should not exist. And I think it is in that context that there are teachers or administrators who don't or who refuse to allow you to experience failure in the way that it should be experienced. And unfortunately, the end result will be that you won't learn this very important lesson. And in not learning that very important lesson, there is a possibility that one day as an adult, you will wake up and realize that you are missing a very valuable knowledge that is crucial to being successful. I think it is a tragedy. I think that it is a very unfortunate situation. But I can say that I put forth an effort to instill this in you, to understand that failure is not something negative, that it is something positive, but you have to make it positive. You have to take the responsibility upon yourself to turn that seemingly negative thing and turn it into something extremely positive. This is what you, as a young adult, have to do. I'd like to thank you for being in Mr. Quick's class. Assalamu alaikum.
Tell you what, a person who believes that this wasn't set up by our own government is an idiot.